In January 1935, a young man checked into room 1046 at a Kansas City hotel using a fake name. He carried no luggage. He demanded the blinds stay shut. He refused maid service for 3 days. On the fourth night, a hotel operator heard him answer a phone call and whispered just one word: "No." Minutes later, a woman was seen leaving his floor. When staff entered the room, they found him dying. He had been beaten, stabbed, and bound with a strange knot used only by butchers. His fingerprints matched no records. His face matched no missing person. No one ever claimed his body. He checked in as a ghost, and he left as one too. In December 1872, the Mary Celeste was found adrift in the Atlantic. 10 people had vanished. The ship was seaworthy. The cargo was intact. A single lifeboat was missing. On the captain's table, a meal sat unfinished. Coffee was still warm in the galley. The logbook's final entry was 10 days old, with no hint of trouble. To this day, no distress signal was ever sent. No bodies were ever recovered. What made an entire crew abandon a perfectly good ship in the middle of nowhere? On Christmas Eve, 1945, the Sauter family home in Fayetteville, West Virginia, burned to the ground. George and Jenny Sauter escaped with 4 of their children, but 5 others were never found. No remains were in the ashes. The fire burned unusually hot, but not hot enough to destroy bone. A witness claimed he saw them in a passing car that night. Months later, a photo arrived in the mail. It showed a young man who looked exactly like their missing son Louis as an adult. The case is still open. What happened to 5 children who vanished from a fire that left no trace?
In February 1978, 5 men with mild disabilities left a basketball game in Yuba City, California. They never came home. Months later, their car was found on a remote mountain road, abandoned but drivable. Deep in the wilderness, 4 of the men were eventually located. The 5th was never seen again. One man had survived for weeks in a Forest Service trailer, surrounded by food and heat, but he didn't use it. His remains were found on a bed, covered by sheets. To this day, no one knows why they drove 70 miles into a snowstorm or what happened on that mountain. In 1590, English supply ships returned to Roanoke Colony in present-day North Carolina. The entire settlement was gone. 115 men, women, and children had vanished. Houses were dismantled. No signs of a struggle. The only clue was one word carved into a tree: Croatoan. No crosses, no graves, no remains were ever found. The local Croatoan tribe denied seeing them. To this day, no one knows if they fled, were taken, or absorbed into another world. How does an entire colony disappear and leave just one word behind? On December 1st, 1948, a man was found resting against a seawall on Somerton Beach, Australia. He had no identification, no labels in his clothes. In his pocket, a scrap of paper with 2 words, Tamam Shud. It means ended or finished in Persian. Months later, a suitcase linked to him was found. Inside, more clothes with tags removed. A book was eventually traced back to a car near the scene. Inside it, a coded message no one has cracked. To this day, no one knows his name. Who was the Somerton man, and what was he trying to end? In July 1518, a woman named Frau Trophäa stepped into a street in Strasbourg and began to dance. For days, she couldn't stop. Within a week, 34 others joined her. By August, 400 people were dancing in the streets. They danced until they collapsed. Some reportedly danced until they perished from exhaustion. Physicians blamed hot blood. City officials hired musicians to help them dance it out. It didn't work. Then, as suddenly as it began, it stopped. No one ever explained why. What makes hundreds of people dance themselves to the brink with no music, no joy, and no way to stop?